And welcome to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show, right here at 6 Scale Cantina. So since the last episode, there's been a lot of crazy movement within the secondary marketplace for Star Wars hot toys, even within the last week. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the biggest mover section at 6scalecantina.com and also the market value chart and see exactly what has transpired. In addition to, we're going to go take a look at the Sideshow bestsellers list for Star Wars hot toys. Since the announcement of the Boba Fett from The Mandalorian, that has shaken things up considerably. What is the prospect for that figure in the long term? And how is that figure going to possibly affect other figures that are trending high within the secondary market? We're going to dive into all of this right now. Alright, and welcome everyone to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show, right here at 6 Scale Cantina. So a whole lot has happened over the past week with Star Wars hot toys. There's a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's dive into it. And we're going to go to the first segment of the program, which is going to be focusing on the biggest mover section at 6scalecantina.com. So that is up on the screen, and going to the first figure you see here listed, Anakin Darkside. Again, this is still trending very, very high and up, and approaching the $700 tier range. Incredible. Darth Maul DX18. This is still continuing to trend up, and trends up even higher. It's starting to get close to that high $300 tier range. This was, in many ways, a sleeper figure. I don't think that Hot Toys produced a whole lot of this solo Maul, but Darth Maul in general, is a very iconic figure within the Star Wars universe. And for some collectors, you know, having every Darth Maul that is issued is probably something that a lot of collectors do. And this figure with the robotic legs and some of the other, details to it, you know, if they come out with any Maul and it's going to be halfway a decent figure like this one is, it's going to be highly sought after, especially if it's not produced in very high numbers. So, very interesting. We're going to keep an eye on that and see if that will go above the $400 tier range. Emperor Deluxe continuing to go high. This, this entered the $600 tier range, this deluxe version. You can see here, just from an auction the other day, if you look at the middle of the screen, $703.49 with 13 bids just from a couple of days ago. There's another auction going on right now that still has a few days left, that it's in the high 400s. This figure is just insanity right now within the secondary market for Star Wars hot toys. So something we're going to certainly have to keep an eye on for sure. Let's continue to go down. So a new entry within the biggest mover section. This 2-pack, Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin. Wow. You could see here a recent auction as well. All the way here, I'll bring it to the middle of the screen so you can see it. $868 and change. This 2-pack just, the other day, with 15 bids, went for. This is an incredible release. I've mentioned it before. It's not a straight reissue of A New Hope Darth Vader. It does have some enhancements, and that Grand Moff Tarkin is, one of the best head sculpts ever released by Hot Toys for Star Wars. So it is continuing to trend up and is very highly sought after. This piece for sure. So, yeah. Count Dooku continues to trend up within the secondary market. It's a This is also one of the better head sculpts released by Hot Toys for Star Wars. The way that they captured Christopher Lee here with this action figure. And it's, you know, within that $400 tier range now. And it's continuing to go up. I think that a lot of these prequel figures are becoming very, very highly sought after. And more so as time continues to go on with Star Wars Hot. Chirrut Imwe, another new entry. Both the deluxe and non-deluxe version, they're both trending up. And, you know, with this figure, you have to wonder, you know, would this be a candidate for a possible reissue or different variation? You know, like they've done with a couple of figures now, Hot Toys with Rogue One releases. You know, they haven't released. I don't think that they released a whole lot of these when they initially came out. I think that the numbers, production-wise, were very, very low on these Rogue One figures. So you do have to wonder. We are going to be talking about that in an upcoming episode, so stay tuned for that. Going down this list, a new entry. We've talked about this the last few weeks. Luke Skywalker, A New Hope, a farm boy, the farm boy outfit. This figure is, you know, trending up. And while you have both Endor versions trending down of Luke and also the Jedi Master version of Luke trending down, this version continues to trend up, and it is now entered the $400 tier range. So something we're certainly going to have to keep an eye on for that figure for sure. Of course, these figures here, Obi-Wan continues to trend up, Anakin, regular Revenge of the Sith version, approaching that $600 tier range. I expect that to happen, or we'd have to keep an eye on it, but it wouldn't surprise me if that does happen over the upcoming weeks here. Krennic continues to go up. Vintage color Boba Fett. Remnant Trooper continues to rise up. Shore Trooper. Shore Trooper, you know, the first release of the Shore Trooper from Rogue One continues to trend up. A recent auction for that figure. You see it up here on the screen. Just from, you know, probably a week ago, I think this one, or a few days ago, $665 this one sold for. Wow. I mean, it just continues to fetch a price. So you do have to wonder, with this Shore Trooper, is it possible that Hot Toys would do a straight reissue of that Shore Trooper? Is it possible? I don't know, but something to certainly, I think it is possible. Let me know what you think in the comments section for that one. So continuing to look at the biggest movers here, Rey and BB-8. Rey and BB-8 has now entered the $300 tier range. So very interesting on this 2-pack. You're also starting to see some, I also think the Rey Resistance outfit is trending up as well. Not quite as much as this one, but it is. And that's going to go ahead and bring us to the second segment. We're just going to go ahead and go to the market value chart and take a look at some of these figures before we go to the Sideshow website. Remember, whenever you go to the market value chart, hit that current value column arrow a couple of times so you get the highest ranked figures to the lowest ranked figures, so it's easier to navigate top to bottom. So let's go ahead and just briefly scan through this, and we'll try and skip over some of the ones we've already spoke to. You know, you're seeing some of these high ones here. We spoke about Anakin, Shore Trooper, Luke Bespin exclusive, still steady. Emperor Deluxe, look at that, $615 and trending up. Wow. Animated Boba Fett, $610 and trending up. Luke Bespin, again, that's the non-exclusive version, continues to be steady. As you can see here, we spoke about the Anakin prior releases. This one is $592. Will this hit the $600 tier range? Is it possible? Let me know what you think. Let's continue to go down on some of the movers here. You know, we spoke about a lot of these. Darth Maul DX17, and also the DX16, really starting to trend up high now. So, not surprising with the release of that Qui-Gon Jinn figure, which is in stock right now at Sideshow and readily available. So not surprised with that release that this one is starting to trend up where it is. Let's continue to go down to scroll down this chart. We talked about Chirrut already, 446, the deluxe version, and trending up. You see Leia New Hope starting to move up even more a little bit, 438 now. Krennic, 433 and raising up. You see Luke here. Luke hit that $400 tier range and continues to rise. So, and you see Chirrut non-deluxe. It's approaching that $400 tier range and is selling within the $400 tier range. And I think very soon you're going to be seeing that hit that as well. Count Dooku. So Count Dooku is actually moving up close to, it is selling within the $400 tier range. It hasn't hit it yet. It's $385. I think I said earlier that it has hit the $400 tier range, but it's close. So will this Count Dooku, is it possible that Count Dooku will in fact hit the $400 tier range and stay steady within there? Let me know what you think. Let's continue to go down. R2-D2, same thing here. As you can see, this has risen $383. This A New Hope version and rising. You're not seeing this with the Force Awakens version nowhere near as much as this A New Hope version. So will this A New Hope version of R2-D2 hit that $400 tier range? And will the Force Awakens version, because it's more readily available at a more reasonable price, will that start trending up as well? What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's continue to go down. You see Solo Maul, 369 rising. Boba Fett. Return of the Jedi, still going up there. Let's continue to go down. Remnant Trooper. We talked about that already, 366 and rising. Continue to go down with some of these. Stormtrooper, you know, Jedi exclusive, the exclusive one, 362 and trending up. Wow. Vintage color Boba Fett, 358 and rising. Again, I've said this in prior episodes. You have to wonder, could this vintage color Boba Fett hit where, you know, this animated Boba Fett is because of all the hype and success of Boba Fett right now? Very interesting. Something we're going to have to certainly keep an eye on. So let's go down. You see Rey and BB-8. They did hit that $300 tier range. $304 and rising. Yoda Attack of the Clones, almost at the $300 tier range. I expected this to happen, even though this is the second they've issued. They, reissued this already. So they're coming out with a lot of prequel figures and Clone Wars figures that, and figures that, match the timeline of this Attack of the Clones Yoda. So not surprising that a lot of collectors are going to want this Yoda within their collection. So this will certainly hit the $300 tier range, and we'll have to keep an eye on it to see how high that goes. See here, Rey Resistance outfit, 284 and rising. Wow. Very, very interesting there. Very, very interesting. So that's the quick scan over the market value chart. Let's go ahead and go to the third segment of this episode and head on over to Sideshow. And yes, I have it ready. So I have this sorted out. Star Wars Hot Toys best sellers wise. So let's go ahead and look through some of these. So biggest news of the week. This Boba Fett from the Mandalorian. Wow. This figure looks absolutely insane. This figure looks sick. Unreal. Unreal, this figure. And with the price point of this figure right now, it is number one selling. And when you sort all these out, Hot Toys, whether it's DC, Marvel, this is number one at $495. Absolutely incredible. This is a This looks like an absolute... I can't get over this figure, folks, honestly. It just looks absolutely insane. Let's see if I actually have it. Yeah, I do have it up here. These slides, I mean, look at that. Wow. I mean, the way that they captured Tamara Morrison there, and the wear and tear on that Boba Fett outfit. Oh my goodness. So you have to wonder, would this 2-pack, can this 2-pack hit? Once this comes out, and the numbers they're going to produce this at, is this going to stay around retail at the $495 price range you see here? Like the way some of these quarter scale figures, much like the quarter scale Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi, for instance, it's close to retail. Is this going to be close to retail because they're going to be producing so many of these and it's such a high price point? Or is it going to go like this Vader and Tarkin 2-pack once this goes ahead and sells out in the future, once it's released? Is it possible that it can hit the numbers of this 2-pack and what you're seeing on here on the screen, like this Vader and Tarkin 2-pack just sold for $868? And, going back to the market value chart, you can see number one, Han Solo and Chewbacca from A New Hope, $900 in steady. And Tarkin and Vader, $840 and trending up, which means that in many times these figures sell, the Han and Chewie sells for over $900 many times, and this Tarkin and Vader sell over $842 many times. So you have to wonder, will this Boba Fett hit those numbers like those 2-packs? Or will it stay within the $495 retail range, $500, $600? I think the answer is, this is so epic, this is so iconic, that I really, really believe that Boba Fett Deluxe has the potential to go for as high as this Han and Chewie from A New Hope and this Tarkin and Vader, for sure. So, if you are planning in any way to get this figure, to get it, the deluxe version, both figures at $495, and you've already budgeted or are allocating for that, do not sleep on this release, because I absolutely believe that this will go far beyond the retail price that you see here and be fetching numbers that you're seeing with the Han and Chewie from A New Hope and Vader and Tarkin for sure. The Mandalorian is hot, Star Wars is hot, and this looks absolutely incredible. This release looks just insane. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. Wow. So, yeah, and as you can see now, let's go back to best-selling wise. Went right to number one almost instantly, within a day. This is the number one pre-order right now. Let's continue to go down this list. Once this best car version goes on waitlist, it is absolutely going to take the OG Mandalorian, which has leveled off into the mid $300 tier range. It still sells up around, $400, sometimes, within that range, but it's actually, you can get it for, sometimes you can get it for, $330, $340, $350. It kind of has ebbs and flows right now. And I think that a large part of that, I mentioned it in the last episode, is because this, best car version of Mandalorian is, I believe it's starting to ship. in the States from Sideshow. But once this hits waitlist, it will absolutely be a $400 to $500 tier range figure, and it will absolutely take that OG Mandalorian, that original release of the Mandalorian, up into the $400 tier range for sure, and I believe within the $500 tier range. So let's continue to go down this list. Cody's still steady at number 3. This is not, in my opinion, going to be on here for months and months. I believe that this will hit waitlist before you get the Captain Rex figure here in stock at Sideshow anyway. And, this release is, it's just one of my, it's absolutely one of my favorite Hot Toys. This figure is absolutely incredible. If you've wanted this figure and, you're thinking it's just going to be in stock for a long time, if you have it budgeted already, I wouldn't wait too long. I do think that this will be a very high riser within the secondary market once it does hit waitlist. It's just an incredible release and an awesome figure, no doubt, no doubt. Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, hearing that it's starting to ship out. Can't wait to get mine. I'm hoping to get a notification any day. I have this pre-ordered. I don't think that they produced a whole lot of this figure. I mentioned it in the last episode. I believe that this will be a very high riser once it hits waitlist. So if you know you want this figure and you're thinking it's going to be in stock for a long time, maybe something to consider. It would actually shock me in some ways if this actually makes it in stock. I really don't think there's a whole lot of numbers on this, but who knows? Who knows? Let's continue to go down. So, Captain Rex, can't wait for that. We talked about that. Ahsoka, I mean, wow. I just cannot wait for it. Give me this Clone Wars version, and let's come out now with the Mandalorian version. Let's get the 2 versions of Ahsoka. This was number 1 for even a much longer time than this Dark Trooper was. I mean, the Dark Trooper was for, 2.5 weeks, which is pretty remarkable for this figure. Ahsoka was number 1 for quite a long time. So, I almost think, a month and a half, maybe even a couple of months. So, cannot wait for this Ahsoka figure to come out, and I can't wait for an announcement of a Mandalorian version of Ahsoka. I do think we're going to get 2 of them. I don't think they're going to change this head sculpt, but let me know what you think in the comments section. I'm kind of iffy on that. Anyway, let's continue to go down this list here. IG-11. I mentioned this last episode. This just got released in Hong Kong this week. And I believe that this is a sleeper figure, and I mentioned it in the last episode. Like this Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, I do not think that they made a whole lot of this IG-11. So, you have to wonder, once this hits waitlist, could this IG-11 hit the secondary market price range that K2SO, for instance, is hitting? Another droid? Something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Let's continue to go down this list here. So, Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon on here. Everything Mandalorian is, and even this Death Watch Mandalorian. I don't know how many collectors are going to be ordering this Death Watch Mandalorian, or even this Moff Gideon, but Mandalorian is hot. Star Wars is hot. As I mentioned about Moff Gideon in a prior episode, you see what's going on with Grand Moff Tarkin. You see what's going on with Director Krennic. We can only imagine, is it possible that Moff Gideon could hit the price ranges that you see Krennic and Tarkin hitting now within the secondary market? You have to wonder. And with everything Mandalorian right now, this Death Watch Mandalorian, is this another sleeper? Is this a figure at $235? Once it goes on waitlist, that's going to stay within a high $200 tier range. Or is this a sleeper and is going to go higher? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Again, bringing this episode to a conclusion, you have to wonder, Could this 2-pack that's up for pre-order right now on the Boba Fett Mandalorian version, this deluxe version, could this hit once it goes on waitlist, no matter how many they produce and how many pre-orders they have? Could this actually hit the high tier range that you're seeing other 2-packs at the top of the market value chart? As you're seeing with Han and Chewie from A New Hope right here, and as you're seeing with Tarkin and Vader, is it possible that this could actually almost double the retail price? I believe that this looks so epic, and Boba Fett is one of the hottest iconic Star Wars characters right now in the Star Wars universe, that I think it is possible. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Very, very interesting what's going on right now in the secondary market for Star Wars. So with that, that's going to go ahead and bring this episode of the Market Value Chart Show to a conclusion. Please go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the content, and please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I so very much appreciate everyone's support. We're definitely growing exponentially. We're getting so many subscribers. We hit over 140 subs right now. Let's go ahead and hit that 200 subscriber mark and beyond. So very much appreciate you all spreading the word around about the Market Value Chart Show, and also 6scalecantina.com and the Market Value Chart. Please also go ahead and follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, so when we come out with a new episode and some news, you're able to get that news right away. Remember, many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. See you next time.